So when you read in all those passages, excuse me, from the King James Version, it's talking about slavery. The King James Version, they started in 1604, finished in 1611. Slavery was going on for hundreds of years already. Of course they knew about the iron around the neck. Of course they knew about what was happening to the slaves. They knew about the stuff already, and they wrote it in the Bible. This is what happened. So here's the proof right here. You can go through the manuscript yourself. Don't take my word for it. Go through it yourself and do the comparison. It's not the same. Now, you can't go to the Dead Sea Scrolls and do a comparison because it's not complete, because they don't want you to know what it says. But here's the proof right here. It doesn't say the same thing. So when we look at Codex Sinaiticus, we can see it's clearly different from the King James Version. Now, I should note as well, in Codex Sinaiticus, they only have Deuteronomy 28, 68, and 69. It doesn't even have the rest of Deuteronomy 28. So we can't even go in there and look at the rest of Deuteronomy 28 and see what it says. See if it's talking about, what would happen if the Hebrews obey God and disobey God. We can't even figure that out because it doesn't even say that. We don't have it. We don't have it in there. But if Deuteronomy 28, 68 is different from the King James Version, then obviously the rest of Deuteronomy is different as well. So we can at least draw that conclusion because the story wouldn't add up. You got to understand it, giving you all these different versions. Don't you think that when you change the Bible in any way, it's going to take away from what it originally said? So how in the world is the King James Version going to leave out the Deuterocanonicals? How is they going to leave out and change so many different things that's in the oldest manuscripts? This obviously changes the actual Bible and changes the message. This is one of the things that, scholars try to point out, but a lot of religious people don't want to accept that. Yes, you separated yourself from the Romans, but without the Romans, you get no Christianity because they are the ones who put this thing on the forefront. The Jews didn't do it. The Jews didn't even agree with Christianity. They didn't want nothing to do with it. They want their separate way. But without the Romans, you don't get what we have today. You'll have Judaism, that's it. Well, it would have been no need for King James or anybody else to make a Bible, a New Testament or anything like that, because we would just have Judaism if it wasn't for Rome. So when they sit there and tell you that a black man created this Bible, bull. They know for a fact you can't get around the Roman involvement in the Bible and the Greek involvement in the Bible, which is why, as I say, King James has to be black and he had to have had a spirit put on him to give him the truth, which is why it's all different. Yeah, that sounds all well and good, but that's not what the proof is telling us. So let's get into this whole tribe of Shem thing because I'm tired of it. So now, one of the first things that the Hebrew Israelites will say to you is that we do not come from Africa. We come from the tribe of Shem. We come from Israel. Our ancestors who were brought to America came from Israel or came from Africa, but originally from Israel and are of the tribe of Shem. But I have shown you we have no history of a tribe of Shem in real life. So they are saying that the Israelites come from this tribe. The Hebrews come from these people. We don't have no history of this at all. We don't have any history. But this is what they want you to believe. So now we went over before, and I've shown you that when you read 2 Samuel, it's talking about King David going into Jebus or Jerusalem and basically conquering the Jebusites. He's there, he's talking about if he smite the deaf and the lame, I'll make somebody a chief or a captain or something like that when you read 2 Samuel chapter 5. Now, the whole thing is, this is Jerusalem, but it's telling you that Jerusalem was called something different before it was called Jerusalem. It was called Jebus. Now, we know that it was inhabited by the Jebusites, who are descendants of Ham. So we're talking about black people. We're talking about these Israelites and King David coming into Jerusalem or into Jebus and killing these black people and taking over their land, right? So according to the Hebrew Israelites, King David and these Israelites supposed to be us, supposed to be black people. So you got black on black crime, right? So you got the Israelites, supposed to be of the line of Shem, coming into Jerusalem, right? But Ezekiel 16, and I know a Hebrew who is smart is going to, cringe right now and say, oh shit, here you go with that Ezekiel 16 shit. Yeah, here I go. It says, thus say the Lord, unto Jerusalem. He didn't say unto Jebus. He didn't say unto the Jebusites. He says, thus says the Lord unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite and thy mother a Hittite. You read Genesis 10 and 15, it tells you the descendants of Ham, and the Amorites and the Hittites are the descendants of Ham, black people. So God is saying, Jerusalem, you come from Ham, but Jerusalem's supposed to be of Shem. It's supposed to be where the Israelites come from. So God is saying here that the Israelites come from Ham. He's basically telling you what I've been saying in this whole video, that these people were black. But let's go down here. Let's make sure we're talking about the same Israelites, the same people. So when you go read 16:8, it says, now when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and enter into a covenant with thee, saith the Lord God, and thou becomest mine. So, did God make a covenant with the Jebusites? No. Did he make a covenant with Jebus? No. He made a covenant with the Israelites, the people of Jerusalem. So why is it saying in the beginning, why is he saying that these people come from the line of Ham, but these Hebrew Israelites are telling you we came from Shem? What's going on here? So now let's bring this whole thing together so you can understand what is taking place and what this book is about. This Bible, especially the Old Testament, is all about the conquest of black people, period. They never mention any of the people of the tribe of Shem. They don't go into what happened to these people. We don't find them in history. We don't find them nowhere. The Bible tells you that they don't build anything. They don't build any cities. They go into lands that was built by the people of the tribe of Ham and conquer it. Just like in real life. What happened in real life? All the lands that we had, they came into and took. You talking about the people from Japheth and from Shem. But who are they really? Who are they really? We're talking about Arabs. We're talking about the Romans and the Greeks. We're talking about white people. We're talking about Arabs. That's who Japheth and Shem represents. Period. Don't represent no black people. Black people are of Ham, if you want to go and use it biblically. But in real life, it's just justifying what they did to us. That's all it's doing. By saying that we conquered these black people and took their land, murdered them, stole their history because God said it was okay. So when we go to Deuteronomy 7 and we start reading it, it's backing up exactly what I'm saying. Trying to make it biblical, saying that God said it was okay. So it says, when the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land, whether thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. This is real history right here. That's what it's talking about. That's what it's basing it off. They went in and conquered all these lands. This is a black people it's talking about. These are lands of black folks that we had the Greeks and the Romans and the Persians and the Arabs come in and take from us. They took it from us under the guise of religion, under the guise of this made up God, basically saying that it was ordained by God. This is God's will that these people be wiped out and destroyed and we take over their lands, because they never show you in the Bible the people of Shem building anything. They don't build anything. They don't have any cities. They come into cities and they conquered. Plain and simple. It's trying to take history and make it biblical and use it to justify what happened to black people. That's all it is. That they were set apart. These are God's special people, so God allowed this to happen. So when you go to Deuteronomy 7, you continue reading, it says, and when the Lord thy God shall deliver them from thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Let's go down here to 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So these people are special. But he's talking about the people who are from the tribe of Ham. He ain't talking about no Shemitic people. He's talking about people that come from Ham, not nobody that come from Shem and Japheth. When you do the etymology, or when you trace back the genealogy, from Genesis 10:15, these people come from Ham. So when you're reading it, and it's talking about utterly destroying these people, if these people are supposed to be Israelites who destroy these people, I mean, we're talking about they destroyed their own people when you read in Deuteronomy. When it's talking about destroying the Jebusites and the Hittites and the Hivites and all these black people, we're talking about black people killing black people. This is what it's saying, because one minute God is saying in the Bible that, hey, you people from Jerusalem, you come from these people. He just said that you come from. How are you destroying yourself? Didn't he just say your birth and your nativity is of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites? But then it says in Deuteronomy 7 that, hey, y'all go and utterly destroy these people. It's the same people. Y'all destroyed yourself. What's going on here? So it's clearly trying to tell you something here, which is why I tell you this is a parable. So now when you read in Deuteronomy and it's talking about utterly destroying these people, wiping them out, show me in history where the Israelites conquered the Hittites. Show me in history where the Israelites conquered any of these people. If the Israelites was going around and conquering all these people, they would have been written about. There would have been monuments. There would have been so many people talking about these badass Israelites going around conquering everything. But there's no mention. Herodotus says nothing. Diodorus says nothing. Nobody says anything about these Israelites conquering the way the Bible is describing them, because it never happened. The people who was doing all the conquering was the Greeks and the Romans and the Persians and later the Arabs and Muslims. So now the Hebrew Israelites want you to accept that we are where we are at today because we broke God's law. We broke the covenant with God. Slavery happened. We are being oppressed to this day, all because we are being punished for breaking God's covenant, for breaking his law and disobeying God. But all the other races get a pass. They get a pass. Look at the Asians. Look at the white people. All the stuff that they have been doing for centuries. Nothing happened to them. They get to be rich and grow their economy, grow their people, and become successful. But black people, we got to endure this hell because we had supposedly broken this covenant. And got nothing to do with me today or you today. We ain't got nothing to do with our ancestors, what our ancestors did. But they want you to believe that it's going to be all right and that the Messiah is going to come back and he's going to take care of these white folks because they got to pay for what they did. So why do the white people living today have to pay for something that their ancestors did? They ain't had nothing to do with it. Just like we ain't have nothing to do with it. Does this sound like something that is correct to you? It doesn't even really make sense. The doctrine doesn't even sound good to me. So when these Hebrew Israelites, when they point to the pyramid on the back of the dollar and they say that, see, it represents Egypt. America is the new place of slavery. But they don't tell you that right around that crest, it says Mason. If you're going to accept that pyramid, you got to accept that it spells out Mason around it and that crest, because King James was a Mason. And that's what this thing really is about. That's why they're using the pyramid, because that's where they stole the knowledge from our people and created their empire that they have today. Our empire is crowned a success. That's what it's talking about on that dollar. Their empire has come to fruition. They have succeeded. King James was a Mason, period. Francis Bacon, the man who actually revised it or went over the Bible after it was written, he went and coded the whole thing, which is why it's saying what it's saying. So if you want to point to that dollar and that crest with the pyramid, you got to point to Mason. You also will have to point out the Freemasonry that surrounds Jesus Christ. You have to point out the fact that he died at 33, Masonic number. You have to point out that he traveled with 12 disciples. He would make 13, Masonic number. It's 13 steps going up that pyramid. It also corresponds with the zodiac. Jesus would be the sun. The 12 disciples would be the 12 signs of the zodiac. Now, I went into this more, this whole Francis Bacon and King James thing in my video, who really established America and what the Bible has to do with it. Check that video out. And also check out That's Game, the Bible and Christianity Finally Explained. It will tie everything together. This video and those two videos will just bring everything home for you. And you will just have a complete knowledge of this whole thing. And you will see clearly that this Hebrew Israelite doctrine is bullcrap. You will really understand that. Like I said, no way in the world they would let these people stand on the corner and scream at white people downtown if they didn't want this doctrine out. I mean, look at the times right now. Look at the times. We got white cops killing black people. We got this whole racial tension, going on in America. So this doctrine fits perfectly for people to start accepting this doctrine and saying, white people are this, white people are that, and your Hawashai's going to come back and destroy them all. Have you sitting there waiting, not doing nothing with your arms folded. You're going to die with your arms folded, looking at your watch. So pay attention to the times. Look at the times right now. You got white cops killing all these black people, shooting them dead in the street, innocent black people. Since when did the cops allow black people to stand on the corner? Since when did they allow that? Since when did they allow us to stand on the corner peacefully? We stand on the corner peacefully. You can't go in your own neighborhood today, you and 8 of your friends, and chill on the corner without the cops harassing you. But these Hebrew Israelites get to go downtown. They get to go into Times Square. They get to go into areas where white people frequent and spew hate and call them devils and tell them that they're going to hell and all kinds of stuff, screaming at white people. They get to stand up on a podium with a microphone and speakers, a bullhorn, and scream at white folks. Since when would they allow that to happen? This is part of an agenda, people. Wake up. Seriously. You don't think those rich white people who live downtown went and said something about this? You don't think they made their voice heard and said something? This is part of an agenda. It's just that simple. You can go ahead and cite freedom of speech and this and that. Well, why is it any different in our neighborhoods when we sitting there just talking, conversating? They ain't screaming at nobody. So now I just want to thank everybody who actually watched this video in its entirety. I get so many questions from people who claim they watched the video already, and it's like, if you actually watch the entire video, you wouldn't be asking me this question. So I know videos, get long and I get long-winded. I'm not the most articulate person in the world. I don't speak particularly well or better than anybody else. But, this is just my research and I'm trying to get it out to people. I may be a little boring, maybe a little long-winded. It might not be very entertaining. But if you are a scholar, if you're trying to get information, I'm going to give you what I have and what I know. And I want to thank people who have, stuck with me and follow, this whole journey. Because really, when I started doing this thing, it was just to really give back to my study group, to people who I was really into this information with. Since I left the country, I wanted to still share information. I had no clue so many people would actually watch my videos. So I want to thank people who have, stuck by me and defended me in the comment section. The comment section is war. You see me, I don't mind commenting with people and debating with people in the comment section because, I'm not trying to be some kind of, internet celebrity or anything like that, or famous from doing these videos. I don't ask for donations or anything like that. I have a donation thing on my page, yes, but I don't really promote it. I just promoted it just now, but I don't really promote it. But I'm just here trying to share information and just get people to wake up. Get people to wake up and see what's going on. This religion is separation. That's what it was designed for. These people at this top block where they use the pyramid, we're talking about the same people in the Bible that took over. We're talking about, well, I'm not going to say in the Bible, let's say in real life. We're talking about the Romans and Greeks, the Jews, the Muslims. They took over this whole thing. And they are together at this top block, seriously. Because this is why you see videos of the Pope with the Islamic leader or with the Jewish leader, because they in this thing together. They in this whole thing. It's one big scam, seriously. They don't care if some Muslims here blow up some Christians there, long as they don't get hurt. So, big shout out to Ally Coalition Jump Off Commander. Big shout out to everybody who's been sharing the videos. I really owe the amount of views and the amount of subscribers to you guys, because I haven't really been able to promote as much as I would like to, because I basically, been busy. I run my own company here and I'm trying to get it to become, self-sustaining. because I'm going to be headed back to America sometime this year to finish my PhD. So I wanted to get everything done here and out of the way so I can go back and knock it out and come back here and finish doing what I've been doing. So you might end up seeing me in Philly or on the West Coast, but definitely want to give a shout out to you guys, and I want to thank everybody for the support. And yes, I do have a book coming out sometime next year. It'll probably be in the spring. I've actually written about 6 books. This will be the first one to actually get published. Publishers ain't cheap, so I've been working hard trying to get it done right. If I put out a book, I want the book to be right. I don't want it to be not corny. I don't want it to be thin. I don't want it to be boring. So I've really been putting a lot of work into putting my first book out and getting it out there. So it'll be out sometime next year for sure. But thanks everybody. Like, comment, share, and see you next video.